Hey everybody. So today I am going to start doing these daily coding problems that I'm getting from this book. Let me take that off. I just got this new book, Daily Coding Problems. They have a website that you can subscribe to their email list, and it's free. They'll send you an email every day with a new coding problem. You do have to pay for the solutions though, but if you want the problems, they're free. So this is the first one in the book. Why did I do that? This is the first one in the book that is in the first chapter. So let's see if we can solve it here. Given an array of integers, return a new array such that each element at index I of the new array is the product of all the numbers in the original array except the one at I. So in other words, we're making a new array where the element at, say, index 0, right? So given the example 3, 2, 1, index 0, so we have to make the product of the rest of the numbers. So the product of 2 and 1, 1 times 2 is 2. So the first one is 2, 3 at the second one. So we can't include the index at I, or the number at index I, the one we're calculating, but the other one, so 3 times 1 would be 3. And then if we're calculating this last one, it would be 3 times 2, which is 6. So let's just make a start array. I'll just put our array equals. We'll just make it simple. We'll start with this with our. So we know our solution should be that array. So we'll start off with that. And then we'll go we'll make a function, find product. We'll go find array. I'm trying a different name. Find array. Solution. I'll just do find solution. Or create solution. That's probably a better name, I guess, for right now. And then we'll just take in an array as the argument. Then we will, so we'll take the array and we'll want to iterate over it. So I guess we'll just do a map. That'll be simple enough. And then we'll go array. We'll go item in the array. And then we'll take an index. I don't know if we'll need it. I'm just doing this on the fly, so I really don't know how would be the best way to solve this. So say the first one comes in, the 3. We want to add the other 2. So we need to get we need some way to collect all of the other elements in the array. So we will take, I think in the third one it will be the actual array itself. So we'll keep that. Yeah, we'll go. I think we can just shadow that array. So this is no longer accessible, but it doesn't matter because we're mapping over it. So the third argument to map gives us the actual array itself. So I could do, let's say, would be the best way to solve this. So array, sorry, there's a plane. I should probably close my window at some point. Array. So say we have the array. We have the array sitting here. We go. I don't want to just take it off the end though. So I could run through the array though, again, for each iteration. So I need to, so for each iteration, I have the 3 here. So I have the index. So I need to go through the entire array again, but then adding multiplying everything, but then also removing the index that I'm at. So we would go 3, or no, it wouldn't be 3. let's make a, so we're gonna go over the array again, and we might actually map over the array again. No, we'll filter it actually. That'll probably be the best one. Filter. We'll filter the array, and filter just returns an array. So we'll just have it be the let array without current index. Kind of a long name, but array.filter. So we're going to filter through the current array, and we're just going to remove the item that we're on. So we pass a function into array. This is I wrote this wrong anyway. So we need to make this a arrow function. Thought it looked kind of weird. I might try doing these in VS Code next time. So we have our filter, we have our item in the filter. So if, well, we should call it something else. Yeah, I shouldn't shadow this because we're going to need to refer to this, so I don't want to shadow over that. So I'll just put, oh boy, naming things is always a pain in the butt. We're just going to call it inner filter item. How about that? Item. So then we're just going to return, filter just returns every item. It runs this callback as like a test. Like the callback you pass is going to be a test, and then if it returns true, it'll put it into the new array, and if it's false, it'll keep it out of the array. So we want it to return true for everything except for the current item we're on. So I'm going to go filter, yeah, if item is not equal to filter item. Well, no, because that'll just be testing the, we want to test the index of it. So if item, whoops. So item dot, the item at index is, so this will grab the current item we're on right now, I think, and then we're gonna filter it, or no, we're not filtering it. So this is the filter item. So I'll also grab the, well, no, we just, I'm trying to account for when there's repeatable, there's like, say there were 2 2s here, or say there were 2 3s here, because then that would cause an error here if we're just comparing the actual value. We want to compare the index. So we'll take the index. Oh, we could splice it. So we're mapping over here. Array without current index. So yeah, instead of filtering it, we're gonna splice it. That'll be a little simpler. So we'll go splice, and then we will pass it the index, and then we're just gonna delete one item out of that index. So now array without current index should be the array without the item we're on currently, so because we just have the second index there. So now we can just go array dot current, or array without current index dot Oh, what was it? Oh, I just had it in my head what I was going to use. Without current index. We spliced it out. Or reduce. And then let me look up real quick. Probably shouldn't have to look this up, but I totally am. So we got reduce, and reduce is a really powerful array method that I should probably already know, but basically you have the accumulator is the first and the current value. All right, I think, and that's the, yeah, callback initial value. Yeah, callback accumulator current value and current index. Okay, yeah. So, and then the initial value. So we'll go down to the examples here. So yeah, we've had a current accumulator, current value. We return the accumulator plus the current value, and then the first, that's the initializer. So we'll have the we'll make an arrow function, and then we'll initialize it to 0, and then accumulator current value, let output equal, so it's going to equal, because reduce just it reduces our array to a single value, and we're just going to have it be the sum. So we'll go return accumulator plus current value. I think that's what actually the example's doing anyway. It's just, yeah, it's a sum all the values of an array. So we're just returning the accumulator plus the current value. So it's like if it's 0, we do 0 plus the current value 0, which is 0. But then once we move to 1, the accumulator is 0, but then we add 1 to it, so it becomes 1. When we go to 2, the accumulator is now 1, so we add 2 to 1, which makes 3, and then we go 3 plus the accumulator is now 3, plus 3 is 6, and that's the sum is 6. So that's kind of the steps it runs through. And so we're doing the exact same thing. We have the output there, and then I'm just going to return the output from this this map. So each time, each iteration of the map for each item in the array, so it's going to get the number 3 here for the first one. It's then going to run over the map with 3. It's going to create a new array with just the where it splices out the index of 0, because index is 0 for 3, because we're arrays are 0 based indexed. So it's going to go index 0, and it's going to splice out 1, so it's going to take out the 3. So then we just have an array of 2 and 1, and then we're going to add. Oh, we don't want to add though. We want to multiply, because it's the product. That's the test. So we're going to multiply 2 times 1, and it'll be 2. And then we'll output that into 2, which is what we want right there. So this should work. We'll go console log create solution with array in there, and hopefully it all works. Nope, missing that. So we have missing something here. I think yeah, I need to close this off. So we have, so I'm closing that off. There we go. I think that was it. No. Okay. So we have that. It's closing that. We have that refers to that, which actually we don't know. I was adding it at the wrong spot. And then in here we have that. We'll close to that. Oh, I never close off the map. That's what it is. Yeah. Syntax error. I'm missing another one. Okay. I bet if you guys are watching this, you're probably going nuts like you see it and I don't. Feel free to fast forward this part. This is another problem with why I might start using VS Code to solve these instead of Replit. We got that. Opening up the... Oh, I'm totally doing this the wrong way. There we go. That's how you do an arrow function. Yeah. Let's try that one more time. I don't know why I saved it. Array without current index is not defined, so I misspelled some. Array without... there we go. Capital W. Let's fix all the bugs. I keep saving it from undefined. All right. Sweet. So return that into output. Output is undefined. So it looks like our reduce probably isn't working. Let's go ahead and let's go step by step, make sure that our splice is working. So our splice should be putting out, okay, so our splice is putting out 3 array without current index. Oh, because splice returns the item that you removed. It doesn't actually, so we need to create 2 separate, I guess I could do a separate, I could make a, variable, just store it in that. Well, actually, it wouldn't really matter, would it? But then we'd be editing the actual array, which we don't want to do. So I need to figure out how to make a copy of the array. We can make a copy of the array by making array copy, and then that equal to array referencing the array argument, the current array we're on, array dot slice. And if you just do slice with no arguments, it'll just return the entire array. So we're making an array copy. So we have that there, and now I can do array copy dot splice, and it can be confusing sometimes with slice and splice, but the way I remember it is like splice is like kind of because you're going into the middle of the array and taking a piece out and then kind of merging it back together. So it's kind of like they used to do with like film, where they would like edit the way they used to edit film, where they would like cut out a certain piece of, they literally would cut out a piece of the film and then stitch the film back together. That's how they would actually edit the film before they had computers and stuff. And that, I think it's kind of a term from that they used to, they would call that splicing the film. So that's how I remember the difference between that. And then slice is just taking a chunk out of the array wherever you want, except when you have no arguments, which is, it's a nice way to just copy it. So we're splicing that, we're taking that in, and so now we could just, I don't even need that. We can console log the array copy. This might not be the most efficient. I mean, we could refactor it later, but right now I'll just get it to work. So it is putting out the appropriate array because it's taking the 3 out, and so it's just a 2 and a 1. Array without, okay, yeah, so it's throwing this error because this doesn't exist anymore. So we'll copy, we're gonna reduce that, and so now let's find out what happens. Okay, so that's right, yeah, it outputs the 2 times 1 would be 3, and then 2 times, okay, so this part's working. The reduce is not working right now. Let's find out why. So we have our accumulator. Let's go back to the reduce. So we have our accumulator and our current value. Accumulator. So we're initializing our accumulator to 0, and our current value, and then we're just returning accumulator.current value. Okay, and it's reduce, it should be returning it into a single number. What happens if I I'm going to console log it out here to see if it's actually working in the reduce. It should print out 3 separate ones. Okay, so it's 0, 0, 0 each time. It shouldn't be that. It should be, this should be 2, this should be 3, and this should be 6. So, accumulator 0. Oh, because the first one is, okay, so I should initialize it, the accumulator, to be, it shouldn't be 0. Maybe if I just do 1. So 1 times 2 would be 2, then times 1 would be 2, 3 times, and then 3 times 1 would be 3, and then times 2. So yeah, I could just initialize it to 1. I think that might do it. I think it was because I was multiplying by 0. Yep, there it is. So 2, 3, and 6. And then now, but it's still showing up undefined, which is not cool. So let's see. So we got that part working, and now we're just returning the output, which would be the number 2. Okay. Oh, because we are never actually returning the map, or the value of the map. So I'll just put return up here. Return the product, or the result of running this map, which will be a new array. And now it should be working. Yep. 2, 3, 6, which is exactly what we want. I can make this any numbers I want. I'll just make them the exact same. No. We'll go to 10, 293. I'll run this, and now it should be a bunch of numbers. Yep. I'm going to assume those are right. And then what happens if we have repeat numbers? So we'll go 3, 2, 1. So we know it's going to come up with that the same output it had before. 2, 6, 3. What's what happens if I add a second 2 in there? So now it should be 3, or it should be 2 times 2 times 1. So the first one should be 4. The first value should be 4 in here. Let's see. Yep, 4, 6, 6, and 2. Because if we take out the 2, we got 3 times 2 times 1. And if we take out this other 2, we got 3 times 2 times 1. And the last one is 12 because it's we take out the 1, so we got 3 times 2 is 6 times 2 would be 12. Cool. All right, looks like that's it for this problem. I will be doing another one tomorrow. So if you guys liked this, please like and subscribe. And all right, see you next time.